Hello and welcome to the show. Time for a quick evening video. I have been having a pretty good day today. I went to the gym and I went to sauna and now I'm feeling pretty good. I watched a couple of videos from this guy called, Björn Andreas Bullhansen. He has a website called Bullhansen. He's a Norwegian guy, a writer, a Viking, and apparently makes some online content, video content also. And I only watched a couple of his videos, but I like the guy because he is sincere, he's honest, he has strong opinions, probably causing some controversy on some of them, but he kind of told that in the videos. But I think that's good, and that we have different types of content creators, and then people can see different opinions also. And so I only watched a couple of his videos. I'm not an expert on all of his arguments and what he is trying to say, but a couple of things he mentioned that got me thinking is, well, first of all, he's talking about the dangers of social media and how it's making this epidemic of narcissism. And I agree on that. I agree with him 100% on that. I will be talking about social media myself as well, but that is something that I can agree with Mr. Bullhansen completely. And then he talked about escaping the modern life, and why the modern world is basically not good, and why would you stay there. And he had some good reasoning behind that, but maybe he is further down the road of, moving away from the cities, getting away from everything that I am. But I don't think you need to escape the modern society. There are plenty of good things in our society. For sure, there are areas that can be improved, but overall, I live in Finland, so Finland, Norway, Sweden, all of these Nordic countries, they are quite similar. We have a welfare system where we are called the welfare states, I guess, and so we pay high taxes, but there is also quite a lot of services offered for free. Yes, I know, paid by the taxpayers, but still, it is sort of it is good system in a way that it levels the playing field. For example, that everybody has access to school, education, and the healthcare is pretty good overall, and everything kind of works. There are no big faults in our system, I would say, and it could be better, obviously, but if you look at the world as a whole, probably the Nordic system and the Nordic society is in top there. If not the best, certainly at one of the top spots. And for example, one of my ex-colleagues had a daughter that was suffering from leukemia, but she got help she needed and she got better. And my mom, she had cancer and she had the care that she needed and she's better now. So, and I don't think these are like massive operations that took time and care from the hospital staff a lot, and I don't think they cost that much at all. Like, we're not talking about thousands of euros or thousands of dollars. We're talking about a few hundreds here. And like, what will happen, for example, in the States, if something like this would happen? If you have cancer, if you need the ER, if you have some serious illness, what's going to happen to you? And or how much are they going to charge you on that? So in these cases where you really need help and you get the help you need and it improves your life drastically or expands your life drastically, I think there, even though our taxes are maybe way too high, you kind of accept it, that the system has its faults, but no system is perfect. But these big things that happen make it worthwhile. So, and for example, like me, I haven't been enjoying the benefits of the welfare state for a long time. I'm closing in on my 40s now, and I did go to school earlier. I got my bachelor's degree, and well, has that any merit or any use? Maybe that's a time for another video, but we have the possibility to educate ourselves and go up to university level. And that is kind of great because it levels out the playing field. You don't have to be in 6 figures debt after graduation. Looking at you US people, I mean, how does that set up you in life if you're in your mid-20s or early 30s and you're in 6 figures of debt and you're just starting your journey in the workforce? Not very good, I would assume. So our system has its faults, but definitely one of the best ones. And so for me, I haven't been enjoying these benefits that much anymore because I don't go to school anymore. I don't use the healthcare system. I've always had like private healthcare because of my employer has been paying for that. And you kind of get blind to the good things. And I'm wondering, maybe this has happened to Mr. Bull Hansen as well. Getting a little bit older, you start to see more of the negative things. And that has happened to me a little bit too. I have lost trust in the politicians or the politics system or the government system pretty much completely. I mean, you just watch the politicians, all they do is argue, and it feels like they don't care about the people, they just care about the votes. And that's quite sad, but it is what it is, and there we could definitely make some improvements. And then when I have a car, I have to pay enormous amounts of all these taxes for it, and then I take it on the road, and some of the roads here, they are in terrible condition, absolutely terrible. And that's what I see every day, every week here, and I'm wondering, where's my tax dollars going? Where are they going? They're not going on the road, which was supposed to be fixed years ago, but it still hasn't been fixed. So I guess when you are in the workforce for a while, you kind of get blind about like, I don't have any kids, you kind of get blind about the good stuff that that your tax money actually also pays for. And you can get kind of negative with that. But I guess too much negativity can make you a bit of a, well, it can make you just feel bad when you don't really need to feel bad. Maybe that's the best way I can put it. So Mr. Bull Hansen talking about the negative sides of the modern society and living in the modern society. I might not agree with him there, at least in all parts, but also I have to maybe look into his content a little bit more before I make more any judgments on him. Then another thing he talked about is the Matrix, and that we're in the Matrix and getting out of the Matrix, and I kind of thought it was a bit funny, and I didn't really pay attention to it. But yesterday I went to Helsinki, to the city center, and so Helsinki is the capital of Finland. I used to live there. Now I have lived here outside of the city in the countryside for 2 years, and life is completely different here than it is in the city. But one of my friends texted me that, hey, he's in town, do you want to go play pool? We used to play pool quite often a few years back, and he's not living in Finland anymore, so I wanted to see him. We haven't seen each other for a long time, and I thought it would be fun to play pool since I haven't played in a long time. And so I said, yeah, let's meet in the city. So I went into the city, and it kind of hit me. I haven't been in the city center for a long time, and obviously there's a lot of people there, and it kind of felt completely different. And I guess that's obvious when you get used to the quiet and being in the middle of nowhere basically, and then you go to the crowded city of Helsinki in a summer afternoon or early evening. So yeah, it was different, but we had fun. But going back to the Matrix that Mr. Bull Hansen was talking about, I started thinking that he has a point there, because when I was living in the city, I couldn't really see outside, or you can obviously see outside, but you can't really feel it. And here in Finland, people have a lot of summer cottages, summer homes that we usually go in the summer, in the weekends, even in the winter. And then we have these beautiful nature parks, and there's a lot of nature here. So you can easily kind of escape the city life and go to these summer houses or go to a natural resort or something like that. And but it's always when you go there, you're gonna come back, and you know that you're gonna come back. So while you're there, even if you are in a very isolated remote location for a couple of days, you're still gonna come back to the city, and probably you're gonna come back to your apartment, to this small box that you're living in. And so this trip outside of the city, or outside of the Matrix, is sort of an illusion, or sort of a dream, or sort of it's not reality, because the reality is waiting for you back at the city, and your home is your apartment, this tiny box that you will eventually go back to. And so even though you can leave and you can kind of escape for a few days, you don't really feel the difference, because that's not where your home is. And I do realize this now, after living 2 years here and leaving the city. I was living sort of in the matrix. I was living in this apartment, in this tiny box, and I lived in this tiny box for 10 years. And it was not even a one-bedroom apartment, it was a studio apartment. And I don't think that long is good for anybody, because just the space, you don't have any space. And yeah, I guess Mr. Bull Hansen has a point about the matrix in a way. And because you can only see outside really if you move outside. Like now I live here, so I'm kind of outside the matrix. And when I go visit the city, it feels and it looks and it seems completely different. Like for example, on the way I took the train, because it's way easier for me to drive with my car to the train station like 20-25 minutes from the Helsinki city center than to try to drive there, because it's nearly impossible to drive there and the parking is super expensive anyways. So on the way along the train tracks, I saw all these new apartment buildings growing everywhere. And that's where I thought about the matrix, that I used to live in a box like that, and they're building these new boxes everywhere in the city. I guess the matrix needs new humans to survive. I guess the matrix needs new souls to keep running. And if the matrix doesn't get more humans, it starts to crumble and it might stop working. Maybe people will actually see outside. So they have to keep building, they have to get new people in to keep this matrix running, to keep the city growing, to make it feel like it's very attractive, that it's a place where people want to be and it's desirable to be there. So maybe I'll have to watch a couple of Mr. Bull Hansen's videos more. His videos got me thinking, and the visit yesterday to Helsinki city really started my mind and ideas going that it is sort of a matrix, and you are kind of locked there mentally and spiritually and physically also, because the box is your home and your life is around that. And although you can visit outside the city, you can leave, you will always have to come back, and you are kind of a prisoner in the matrix. And I can only say now from my own experience that life really is different here, and after being outside, the inside looks completely different. It looks way different than I would have thought. And I will have another video or more content explaining what my plans are here now and what I might do in the future. They are still a bit uncertain even for me, but I want to encourage people, if they have the possibility to escape the city, to escape the matrix, to do it. Or not to do it, but I want to tell you that it is possible, and the change is not that big that we make it to be, because we are sort of locked into thinking that I need to be here this is my home, this is the matrix I live in, this box, this is where I should be, this is where I'm supposed to be. But it's not like that. And I think a lot of people are thinking about it. A lot of people have done it. And I think just thinking about it, you have more options than you might realize. And that's what I want to talk about you in the next one probably, because now that I quit my job, all of a sudden I have all these options available that I never thought about. And now that I'm talking with my friends or my family, they are giving me all these suggestions that, hey, you talked about this, have you considered that you could do this or that? And I never even thought about these possibilities, that they existed, because my mind and my soul, even, everything was locked there in the tiny box I was living in. And then I was working on the IT that I thought was my thing to do. But maybe neither of these were my thing. And I think, yeah, it's really makes you think. And I think that's enough for now. I wanted to talk about this few ideas that I saw from Mr. Bull Hansen's videos, and just encourage everybody that there is life outside the cities, and it's not as different as you might think, but it is way different than what you're used to. So that's enough for this evening. I think I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.